Sergeant with Tyler PD just said that Kilgore PD stopped a vehicle matching the description. Officer K9 Ogar was fatally shot and killed by a man who ran from police after a traffic stop. The victim's niece, Nicole Jackson, says that she just wants justice for both her uncle and her child. Now, first things first, just take a look and say hello to my little friends there. This new app is called Finding Rover. Now, if he ever goes missing, this new technology could help me find him. Experts say teens that use the internet to avoid the real world fall into bad communication habits. These are the kind of letters that you don't want to ignore because the collection companies could eventually take you to court. This is currently where the edge of the lake is. And this is the end of the parking lot where it should be. And this 7-foot culvert will take on all of the extra water when it gets too high. Is this little piece of equipment an AED? The problem, it's 8 years old. It could save a person's life, and it cost a whopping $2,300. Big Woods Spring Lake is perfect for fishing. But when it rains, people who live in this private community have a hard time getting to and from home.
There's 3 children that live behind this house over here that didn't get to go to school today.
Pete Mellinger moved to East Texas from California after retiring.
I went out before the rain started and bought enough food to last a couple of weeks just in case, but I always keep them on hand.
The only bridge that leads to his home was washed out, forcing people stranded in the Big Wood Springs community to get creative, even if it means stuffing money in a pill bottle and tossing it across the floodwaters.
Now we got to figure it out, you know.
It's the first time that it's been wiped out like this, and the second time this year we've had this big flood of water coming through.
Earlier this year, the creek's water got high enough to break the main water line, leaving them without water for days. He says the man who owns the property fortunately replaced the pipe for free.
You know, we all pay taxes, so we ought to have the services that we pay for, you know, to help fix this and get it back in shape.
Their problem now is getting enough money to fix the bridge.
You know, they try just about everything they can think of, and everybody turns them down. And
he says the state won't release funds unless Wood County is considered a disaster area. So for now, it's up to them to find their way out. The Roarin' Band from Bobcat Land is working hard on their next performance. But one member might surprise you.
I can feel the vibrations when the drums are it's really loud.
Senior Jacob Booth lost his hearing as a baby after contracting meningitis.
They said he probably would be a vegetable and he wouldn't be able to walk or anything, so it's really a miracle that he's, you know, where he's at now.
When he was almost 2 years old, he got a cochlear implant to help him hear.
They had to actually remove a piece of his head and take a skin graft off his leg and put it on his head.
3 years later, he contracted meningitis again.
He went several years without hearing. We continued doing sign language. They said when he was starting school that he would probably be 2 years behind, at least.
Not only is he not behind in school, he excels, competing on the math and science team. While Jacob says it's a daily struggle not being able to communicate with people,
lots of people are willing to learn to sign and do sign language. It's really nice. He has a very good sense of humor. He's always, you know, cutting up. He takes things pretty lightly.
But not when he's on the football field, marching alongside his peers, keeping the beat on his bass drum.
Now let's go down again. He's down all around, no one around me.
The Tyler Civic Theater is busy rehearsing for their next show, Charlotte's Web.
As the show deals with, you know, friendship, love, loss, sacrifice, death, and it's all there, and it just takes on a whole new meaning for us and for the cast because it's so real to us and so close to us now.
On March 4th, they will take the stage with a huge part of their performance missing. Ryan Mully was going to make his big debut, but was shot and killed on his way home from Dallas Friday afternoon.
It was interesting working with him because he had this energy about him that no matter who he was talking to, no matter what he was doing, he brightened up a room.
Though he says the theater has been a bit darker without him around, his big personality reflects through his 10-year-old daughter, Delaney.
My character is the lamb, and she's really, like, snarky.
Talking about her upcoming role, it's evident she's made for the stage.
As it goes along, she realizes, well, his life isn't that great because he could get, slaughtered and made into bacon.
And her dad, just the same.
Beforehand, we take audition photos, and Delaney posed and did a sassy pose, and then he took one, and he didn't want to be outdone by Delaney, and so he struck the same pose, and we took the photo, and so he became known as Sassy Ryan.
He says they have filled Sassy Ryan's spot.
The show must go on, and we're going to do it for Ryan.
One would expect his daughter to opt out, but not Delaney.
What pushed me to do this and keep going was that he would have wanted me to do this.
This is Live at 5.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Cara Prichard. The next debate is set for January 17th in South Carolina. Also, a center point of last night's debate, Donald Trump. The Republican presidential frontrunner was the focus of several attacks by all the candidates during the debate. Your Thanksgiving feast may be over, but it's likely you have plenty of leftovers. It's also possible that you may have a few pets who enjoy the holiday just as much. I know I do. Just make sure they don't eat something that will make them sick. Well, it was another cold, late December day in East Texas. Lots of clouds, little to no sunshine. Marcus says that it will be very limited the next few days. Marcus, you say that some showers are possible by New Year's Eve night, but nothing like the weekend, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Cara.
From Abe Martin Stadium in Lufkin, the Kilgore Bulldogs, who got cooled off of their 7-game winning streak by rival Henderson last week, opened the Class 4A Division I playoffs against Huffman-Hargrave. Coach Mike Wood's Bulldogs, don't forget, only 2 years removed from a state title game run. And they were the first to get some points on the board. Kilgore's Christian Galvin with the 25-yard field goal, and that brings Bulldogs up 3-0. The Falcons jump right back in it with this play. Quarterback Cody Gayton sees Lane Shively on the slant route. He catches it and heads straight for the end zone, runs it back for more than 60 yards. That's right, Mike. All 4 of these district matchups were key for their postseason hopes, as well as for some bragging rights.
Of course.
Let's start at TK Gorman, where the undefeated Crusaders have their first 7-0 start, welcoming Brook Hill, who really needed to win to stay up in playoff contention. It was homecoming for Gorman as they went head-to-head with the Guard, who's a lot better than their 2-4 record indicates. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Brook Hill's down by 9. Quarterback McCrary Fletcher with a quick pass to Seth Brusher, but it's blocked by Gorman's Blake Johnson. Next up, it's the Guard's ball. Bottom of the second, Fletcher goes long, sails it up to Seth Brusher once again, and it's good. The crowd's excited, but then the ref stops the party for a holding call on the offense. The Crew held Brook Hill 21-12 at half, but let's take